Morning, everyone. It's good to see everyone this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now in the hands of our assistant city clerk.
This is the pre-meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, June 25th. Appeals. We have appeals for waivers of the noise ordinance at the 2400 block of Creek Circle Drive in Redmond Street on July 6th from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. At 1015 Houston Street on July 4th from 2 p.m. until 8 p.m. At 1831 Riverside Drive on July 13th from 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. And at 82 Burtonwood Drive, July 4th through 6th from 2 p.m. until 10 p.m.
Any issues there, Penn, Carol?
No.
Public hearings. Today is the public hearing to declare structures at 112 Bush Avenue, 1253 Seneca Street, and 4850 Dan Williams Road public nuisances and order them demolished.
Mr. Stockerbox?
Yes, Mr. President, I've got an update for Mr. Carroll from 112 Bush Avenue. We expect multiple people to be at the meeting. Just want to give you a heads up for intention of possibly transfer of ownership and repair of the property. We have no problem holding it over 60 days for letting this process to play out.
Have they submitted a plan yet with transfer of ownership in progress or anything like that?
Not yet, but I understand there's a foreclosure involved.
Yes, sir.
Today is the public hearing to assent to the vacation of a portion of a service road and city right-of-way located at Knollwood Drive and Medical Park Drive. Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Gwendolyn Petaway has comments about a community center and splash pad at Heroes Park. Lisa Taggart is requesting $100,000 to expand Door to Serenity, and answers from the legal department about the opioid settlement fund guidelines. Felicia?
This was the letter that came down here in front of the council that talked about her transitional homes. It was stated that we were going to come up with a plan, or somebody would introduce a plan to us and process how to get there. Has the administration said anything to you or anybody else yet about a plan and a process for people to ask for or qualify for those funds?
I haven't heard anything, Director?
Yeah, that's currently illegal. They are in the final stages of figuring out how we're going to how people can apply for this money and get it distributed as well. We maybe another 2 weeks and we should have something out for the public.
So she may be a little bit premature.
Correct.
Have you spoken with her?
No, I have not.
Has anybody within the administration spoken with her?
Not that I'm aware of. But I can speak to her find her, and I'll speak to her today and tell her that it'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Felicia Johnson has concerns about the condition of a tree at 251 Government Street. Kalinsky Adams.
1 second. Are you aware of that, Mr. Carroll? What this is?
Say again.
Are you aware of what this is?
What are you talking about? A dirty dam?
No, tree on Government Street.
No, I don't. Tree on Government Street.
Are you?
We're still talking. We just read. We're on Kalinsky, right?
No.
One before that.
One.
I'll get you some coffee.
No, my mind is a little bit ahead in the agenda this
Yes, sir.
morning.
So I asked, I'm sorry. So I asked Peter, interim forester, to go out and try to check this out. We can find the tree specifically they were talking about. So, anytime we get more information, we'll go out and evaluate the tree, and if we can remove the chain or check the health of the tree. So, but he went out in the general area where this was, and he couldn't find a tree that fit that description. So. But we'll keep looking, and then once we find if the individual gives us more information at council, we'll act on it.
Okay, thank you.
Kalinsky Adams, Nina Dortch, and Rodney Toomer will speak about opportunity for entertainers, a summer program at Baltimore Park, Mob Music Festival, and other upcoming events. Angela Grimes will speak about concerns about teen mental health treatment and educational options in Mobile.
Um, guys, this is going to get even more and more important on how our police department and first responders are reacting, not just with teen mental health, but also with, in particular, mental health in the community. There was a response yesterday that I'm extremely concerned about, where I think that our Alt Point person would have been extremely helpful, even though there was no real use of force or aggressiveness that our police department did, but it was the alleged person that was doing the action. And the more of mental health for teens and people that we can get in the street with the police department is going to help, because yesterday could have really been something truly awful if it had have escalated into something else. So as we move forward, I think that we really need to take a look at what we're doing with Alta Point. I don't know if we have 1 or 2 or 3 with that new service that we have with Alta Point in the police department, but if we could do a little bit more, a little bit better, a little bit more, whatever, it would help the community, I think.
Just, with the iPad program that we ran out with Alta Point, we don't have an exact number, but they are in all the precincts in the city. We're also expanding that program to the fire department as well, so they'll have the pads. We've finalized a deal with Alta Point to have them reimburse us for 1 officer who will be mentally health trained and be on duty to address some of these concerns as we can. And we're looking to expand the program the best we can. We are planning to go in August or early September to Miami, which has a significant mental health court. I just spoke to the district attorney's office yesterday, and I'm trying to get them involved as well. But Alta Point is going to go there. Chief Jackson is going to go with us, and we're going to try to look and see what we can learn from them, because they do a really good job, and it's been nationally recognized for what they do with their mental health programs.
Yeah, I appreciate the response, but the other thing is that we need to be, I guess, prudent in how we say things, being that we have no jurisdiction in the mental health arena, and with Alta Point teaming with us, I don't know if it casts the idea that we have some type of jurisdiction there on how people are handled with Alta Point. But moving forward, I'd appreciate any information that we get and how we're going to move forward, so I'd have it in the back of my head.
Okay, but again, when you have these confrontations, the immediate concern is de-escalation and make sure that everybody walks away safely and doesn't harm. And that's what we're trying to do, is trying to equip our officers with the ability to de-escalate these mental health situations.
Mike Cowart will present information about the condition of the Mobile lodging market and request that the Tourism Improvement District not be renewed.
Huh? Is this Mike that did our first hotel down there? What's his reasoning? He did the Hampton Inn for us. What's his reasoning?
Dave, William.
Yeah.
Just talk to David after the meeting.
Y'all have talked to him already? Yes.
Laurie Hunter has comments about the Mobile Housing Authority recovery agreement with the city. Reggie Hill, Fitness for Duty, downtown parking, ARP, and performance contracts. Ashley Harrison has concerns about mental health, homelessness, and crime in Mobile. Timothy Hollis, questions about Mobile's sister cities and new signage at Michael Figures Park and Satchel Paige Field.
Mr. President,
Mr. Penn.
thank you, Mr. President. To the administration, I see that as a question regarding international affairs. I believe we already answered this question, but I just want to get clarity. The question from Mr. Hollis is about our sister cities, and the request was asked that are we sending aid or receiving, and who are they? I think we already answered that question, but can anyone just go on and get clarity during this pre-council meeting?
So if the question is the city of Mobile rendering aid to any of our sister cities? The answer is no.
Thank you. Just want to make sure people who don't get opportunity to watch certain, if they, watch pre-council and don't get a chance to watch council, they get to hear that. As well as, have we received any information regarding this signage from Parks and Recs? Anybody reached out to Parks and Recs about the signs that figures that they know of? All right, I guess we'll find out at council. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Mr. Reynolds.
I am allocating discretionary funds to the students from Ichihara City coming to the city of Mobile for their trip here. They make a trip every other year or something like that. So I just want to make that known.
Madam Clerk.
Jimmy Todd, Historic Homes and the Blight Program.
Where's
Or-
that?
Ordinance is held over. 64040, rezone property located at 3300 Knollwood Drive and 3401 and 3421 Medical Park Drive from R1, B1, and B2 to B2.
Mr. President,
Mr. Reynolds.
just as I stated last week, I support this one because it's speculative zoning, and there you go.
CIP resolutions held over. 21541, authorized contract with Mobile Asphalt Company for 2024 CIP resurfacing districts 1, 2, 3, and 5. 21550, authorized contract with Southern Earth Sciences for 2024 CIP resurfacing districts 1, 2, 3, and 5. Consent resolutions held over. 40, 438, and 439 are declaring the structures at 601 Tata Street and 550 William Street public nuisances and ordering them demolished.
Mr. Bach.
Yes, Mr. President, I've got an update for Mr. Carroll for both locations. These were held over 30 days for the owners to either begin getting a permit first and then beginning repair or demolition through the owner. However, no permits have been issued at this point, and we would recommend that the council move forward with the demolition.
Resolutions held over. 01542, authorize agreement with the Alabama Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for an amendment to Go Mesa Grant Agreement for Shipyard Road. 08543, 544, 545, and 546 are approving purchase orders to Gray Bar Electric Company for aluminum light poles, to Intergraph Corporation for installation and maintenance for software, to Shaw Contract Flooring Services for cruise terminal, and to UKG Chronos Systems for annual renewal of software. 21547, authorized contract with Gorham Air Conditioning for HVAC replacement at Spring Hill Rec Center. 21548, authorized contract with Robert J. Baggett, construction of mooring pile for the cruise terminal. And 21549, authorized contract with S&O Enterprises for fire and security alarm service and monitoring at various city locations. Ordinances being introduced. 39041, ordinance to amend sections 39-96.1C and D2 of the Mobile City Code to change noise ordinance cutoff time in residential districts and to codify procedures for applications for waivers.
You want to speak about this, Mr. Penn?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. This is some information that I've been working on for a while. I want to thank Mr. Linder for putting this together for me. We've been receiving calls about just time, noise going past a certain time, and we wanted to try to figure out how we can cut down on these issues. So, Mr. Linder, can you just explain the difference from the past ordinance?
Thank you, Councilman Penn. It's pretty simple. The current noise ordinance has a universal cutoff time of 10 p.m. every night of the week. This would lower it to 9 p.m. on Sundays through Thursdays. It would remain at 10 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Otherwise, It turns out the procedures for noise waivers before the council and everything weren't really written down or codified. We were just kind of operating on custom. So this sets out the procedure. The amendment also sets out a procedure for it. And there was some confusion or debate about this. This makes clear that the council can either approve or deny a noise waiver. The council can approve it in part. The council can put conditions on a noise waiver, reasonable conditions, and the council can extend the time that a noise waiver can operate. In other words, the council has the discretion to approve a waiver that'll go after 9 or 10 p.m. on any given night of the week.
Is that defined in the ordinance that the council can extend?
Yes. It's explicitly stated now. Now it is, yes.
Now it is?
Or with this amendment, it would be.
The other thing is that I think there needs to be a definition of neighborhood in there.
Consent resolutions being introduced, 09, 555, and 556 are transferring funds from District 2 discretionary account to Parks and Rec's general fund account to assist with fees for Harvest Giveaway and for the Robinson Family Event. 37, 557, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a restaurant retail liquor license to PLT Food Hall on St. Francis Street. 40, 558, 559, and 560 are declaring the structures at 112 Bush Avenue, 1253 Seneca Street, and 4850 Dan Williams Road public nuisances and ordering them demolished. 58, 561, assess cost for removal of weeds, Weedling Group 1654. 60, 562, determine an appropriation to Mobile Symphonic Pops Band serves a public purpose and approve payment. Resolutions being introduced. 01, 563, authorize and accept agreement with the state of Alabama for the Innovating St. Louis Street Project, a local match of $1,039,737.60.
Any questions from the council?
08, 564, approve purchase order to CDW Government for annual renewal of Cisco malware and network security protection software and support services, $73,050.81. 08, 565, approve purchase order to Dana Safety Supply for Chevrolet Tahoes for the police department, $707,548.78. 08, 566, approve purchase order to Gray Bar Electric Company for aluminum light poles for traffic engineering, $30,071.40. 09, 567, transfer funds from Capital Project St. Louis Street Streetscapes to Grant Fund Innovating St. Louis Street, $79,737.60. 21, 568, authorized contract with Johns and Kirksey for roofing repairs at Traffic Division Facility, $18,500. 28, 569, authorized waiving of all Mobile Airport Authority's administrative, licensing, and permitting fees relating to the Brooklyn Terminal expansion. 47,
Mr. Carroll, you have something? All right.
47, 570, and 571 are assenting to the vacation of a portion of a service road and city right-of-way located at Knollwood Drive and Medical Park Drive, and considering a vacation fee as a condition of the vacation of a portion of the service road and city right-of-way at Knollwood Drive and Medical Park Drive.
Mr. President,
Mr. Days.
I thought I had read somewhere, and now I can't recall where, that the applicant here was going to request that the vacation fee be waived in this instance.
They have requested that, Councilmember Daves.
But that would require a separate,
I think the better practice would be to have a separate resolution waiving it, assess it, and then waive it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And that's not on, the
No,
waiver
it's-
is not on the agenda today.
No, just the assessment of the fee is on the agenda today. I think the better practice would be for them to come and formally request council action rather than the council just denying failing to assess a fee.
I agree. I'd rather that be taken up as a separate item.
Mr. Reynolds.
I want to go back to the waiver of permits for the airport. I think it's important that in this resolution, it'll be amended to make it clear that MAA or any contractor, any of them, by waiving these fees, we're not waiving the permit requirements themselves. And it doesn't say that in here, but I just think it's important that we state it very clearly that you still have to follow, the city of Mobile's laws, in regards to your project. And the second thing would be, I think we could be more clear on the definition of the start and stop time on project, because it leaves a little ambiguity about any related improvements there too. Would they be waived for permits, say if they remodeled, a terminal or something like that in the future? So I think there's some room to be more specific in this.
Mr. Carroll.
Mr. President, it was my understanding after reading this, it was only for the new terminal, based on the new terminal and this construction only, and no other projects. And I'm assuming this goes to all of the subcontractor fees for permits also. Where I took a breath is that administrative and licensing. What licensing are required in this case, and what administrative fees are we talking about in this case? I mean, a permit is permit, but what are we talking about beyond that?
Mr. Woods couldn't be here this morning. He may have to answer the question regarding the licensing fees, but the administrative fees would incorporate like plan review fees. Before any permits are issued, they go through a plan review process where all of their drawings are submitted
Yes, ma'am.
prior
Yes,
to permitting.
Yes, ma'am. I was assuming that the licensing fees that you were talking about would be for contractors that are not from the city of Mobile, that require a city of Mobile business license. And if we're waiving business license fees for out-of-town contractors or people that are not from here to work here, I don't think that's fair to the people that are here. Even if they are at the airport, in order to pull a permit, you still have to have a city license. But I'm only speculating because I don't have the details at this second on what you're actually waiving. Administrative, I have no idea what that is. The city spends a certain amount of money on, and this is what our permit fees pay for, is for those guys to go back and forth down there and spend time on that site. And I mean, I would think that the number of inspections down there and the amount of time is probably going to be pretty hefty. I don't know what this is, unless we're actually trying to help them in some type of cost abatement. And if we're doing that, then I can understand what our approach is. But we should not waive any licensing for any contractor that doesn't have a license in the city of Mobile to actually do work. I don't think that would be fair at all.
I will follow up with him to get a little bit more clarity, but the way this particular portion of this agreement was worded, it was in keeping with how we've dealt with all of our other major economic development projects.
So the wording may just be a little bit out of whack.
I'm sorry?
So my thinking on the wording may be a little bit out of whack.
Yes.
Okay, but again, if we're waiving city license requirements, I just, if that's the case, I don't.
I will get some clarity on that for you before the 10:30.
We don't vote on it this week.
You're correct. You're correct. I will get clarity before the vote for next week.
All right, thank you.
01572, authorize agreement to accept funding assistance for the HVIP project.
Define that acronym. What's that acronym, HVIP, for those of us that don't know?
Hospital-based violence intervention program.
Hospital what?
Hospital-based violence intervention program.
I believe it's, Mr. President,
Mr. Woods.
believe it's a program they're looking to roll out in full force in the next 30 days or so. But this is just an initial, somebody wants to give them money to go towards this project, and we're just having to approve the acceptance of it.
I think it's going to USA Hospital, basically going to USA Hospital through us.
Right. I understand there's some time constraints on this and would ask that we take this up today.
Just receiving money,
Receiving money.
$120,000. So I have no objection.
Do we have another announcement from the council?
Mr.
Go ahead.
No, mine might be a little bit.
A little what? Long. Yesterday, I received a call from two of our media outlets asking me questions about one of our programs that I was unaware that had been discontinued or being discontinued. I was told that our youth violence prevention program was being discontinued. I hadn't heard that, don't know if it's true or not, or don't know where we're going, but can somebody please let us all know and let the media know and everybody else so that they don't keep calling me what the actual truth is out here. You know, if we can get some type of statement or response to that, I'd appreciate it. Please. I mean, if it's simple, yeah. If it's complicated, then
Absolutely not. Our youth anti-violence program is not being discontinued. It is being changed a little bit. We are partnering a lot more with Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec has a tremendous program. Every time we do our own and the Public Safety Department does their own program, we have to go to Parks and Recs to get their buy-in, their facilities, their people. We've decided to partner more with Parks and Rec, including providing programs during their summer camps, doing things jointly together, saving time, money, and effort, and reaching a lot more kids than we previously had. We are expanding the Bridging the Gap program. We're expanding the SCORE program for younger and younger audiences. So we are expanding. We are not discontinuing.
well, that's good to hear. It makes sense that I hear you partner with Parks and Recreation, because it seems like in the beginning we were already partnering with Parks and Recreation if they wasn't doing the heavy lifting themselves already ahead of the youth violence program.
They were doing the heavy lifting ahead. That's why we're doing more and more. We spent a lot of time over the last couple of months with Ms. Smith and I and Curtis and the people, and we've come up with a program, and we're doing a lot more interactive things with them.
Wouldn't hurt that if we make a little note to the general public and let them know what we're doing out there. You know what I mean?
That would be great. And also probably if you'd like to have a public safety meeting at some time, we can discuss what we discussed back in January, what we're moving forward with, how we're moving forward. It'd be a great time to brief you all as well.
Thank you, Mr. President. This past week, we celebrated Juneteenth, and I heard some great compliments on the event that took place in the city of Mobile. I had a prior engagement, but I also attended some events in the city of Pritchard. It was amazing. We had people come down from out of town, and they were very, very supportive. I also had the opportunity to watch in Birmingham how they celebrated the Negro League, the MLB, and it was just hearing that history so vital. And here in the city of Mobile, we have so much history that I think that we can promote more. We see that recently, the Clotilda ship. There's so many movies, but I don't know if you had the opportunity. I encourage everyone to watch the new documentary that's on Disney. That's out. It was pretty amazing hearing that story. But one of the things that kind of just truly stood out, even watching the Negro League, hearing Reggie Jackson speak about his experiences here in Alabama, watching the documentary about the Clotilda, hearing the descendants. And a lot of people don't know my family is from Africatown. And so hearing these things and hearing like, what can we do to create a stronger Mobile, a stronger Alabama. And so one of the things that just stood out to me, I actually went and rode around, not just in my particular neighborhood, but in other inner city neighborhoods. And I had a major concern about some of our businesses in our community, that a lot of them say that they support, but it doesn't look like the same business in other communities. And what I'm asking everybody here, we have to make a decision. If we love our community, we love our city, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to ride around and go to grocery stores in my community and go to that same grocery store with that same name in another community. And then we want to ask, how does it look? I also want you to do this. I want you to go to the gas station and see how much gas costs in certain communities that's supposed to be less poverty, more poverty, and then go into communities that's supposed to have more money and see how much gas costs. The reason why I'm saying that is we celebrate Juneteenth. I see people come out, state leaders and everybody, we come out in Juneteenth. But if you truly want to celebrate Juneteenth, then our community is supposed to have the same as everywhere else. So I'm asking you to go out and just look, just take time on your lunch break and then ask yourself, is this right? And some of these people are your friends, some of these people you work with, and you need to tell them you need to do better. That's how we create a difference, and that's how we celebrate Juneteenth. Thank you, Mr. President.
Anyone else from the council? Anything from the administration? Mr. Mayor?
Leon Barkin and Sam Thaney both here. If y'all can give me just a few minutes, I can give y'all an update. We had a bi-monthly meeting yesterday, and I think it's timely for them to give more recent information. One budget on schedule should be quick, right?
Thank you, Councilman. This will be quick. No presentation. We just wanted to provide, an update on the projects. For the parking facility, I mean, it's kind of obvious if you look out the window, it's starting to move more rapidly. All the foundation work's been completed. So we're now working on the south half on the above grade. We're up to like some of the level 2 slabs. In fact, those were poured early this morning. So that's advancing. On the north half, we're putting in our subgrade and our base stone and probably pouring slabs for the north half later this week or first of next week. So, and the project is currently under budget due to the value engineering issues. We were able to work with the contractor to make happen. So, so far so good there. The Civic Center demolition project, we did issue a pre-qualification RFP. We received 24 proposals in response to that. We pre-qualified 17 bidders, both local and non-local. We had a pre-bid meeting last week, and 13 of the 17 were in attendance. So we're hoping we'll get a good turnout on the bids for the demolition. Those bids are due on July 10th. So we'll have those in hand and know what our actual bid cost will be. Also, we went to the ARB. We had a hearing with the ARB in June on the demolition certificate of appropriateness that was approved, and we have that certificate in hand at this time. So we'll start the other permit processes on the demolition project, which will be the NPDES notice of intent. That's already been filed, and once we receive that, then we'll file the other city permit applications. And when the bids come in, of course, the intent is to award that to the lowest responsive bidder. And we hope to be back in front of you on the 16th of July to kind of present where we're at with the demolition, and then have it on your agenda on July 23rd for the first read for the demolition contract. And then on July 30th, hopefully a vote to approve that contract so we can award it in the first week of August. The new arena construction, we're still, of course, in the design process. The 60% design development is complete. We're reviewing that now. We have about 463 drawing sheets and about 1,000 pages of specifications to get through to get that reviewed and prepared. So we're ready for the meetings at the end of July. Along with that, of course, we've been estimating that project, if basically monthly. Every time we update any drawings, we update the estimate. And we have the final 60% estimate in hand right now, which we're reviewing, and we'll make any necessary adjustments to that over the next couple of weeks. But so far, that is still tracking to be within budget, and with the actual cost actually below the budgeted number. So we have contingency in there if it does happen to grow a little bit. And then just kind of some dates that, out in the future for that, assuming we get the vote to proceed with demolition in July, then we'll issue a pre-qualification package for the new arena construction on September 3rd. Once we figure out how we want to divide that work up, it might be one package, it might be more than one package. We're not certain at this time. And then we would issue RFP around the middle of September. And then, that's the pre-qualification RFP in the middle of September, with the pre-qualification proposals due at the end of September. And then we'd establish our bidders list and hopefully issue bid documents like the second week of November to get bids in prior to the holidays in December. So we'll be in a position to come before council first 2 weeks of January with the contracts for the new arena construction.
Mr. Reynolds.
I thought we were going to have this parking deck done by the end of January. Is that still the case?
No, that was originally the case, but the contract didn't get awarded in September as anticipated. So it's going to be finished in March.
When is Mardi Gras? Are we going to have parking ready for Mardi Gras?
No, there will not be any parking available out there at Mardi Gras because we're going to be doing demolition, and all that area is going to be laid down and staging for the demolition and the new construction for the next 2 years.
Okay, so the parking deck upon completion will really just be accessible by the Corps of Engineers?
No, it'll be accessible to the public, but not in time for Mardi Gras.
Sam, appreciate you. Question.
Yes.
I don't know if I can actually ask you this question right now, but if I can, say yes or no. You said we're at 6% DD, and you have an estimate based on 6%?
Yes.
Can you tell me where that number is?
I would rather not, Councilman Carey. I want to review it first and make sure we're confident in that number before we throw that out there.
It's within the budget, Mr. Carroll.
Who's doing the estimate?
RLB's doing the estimate.
RLB's doing it.
We've got a local partner who's reviewing it as well as us.
Does the local partner have enough past performance history to make sure the numbers are right based on this heavy construction?
They have enough past performance history to validate the unit prices. We have a lot of confidence in RLB's ability to do the proper takeoff.
We still holding contingency on it, you said?
Yes.
And can we have a few minutes after this, please?
Sir?
Mr. President, I want to see this eastern elevation.
That's a good idea too.
Any chance I could see that at some point? I mean,
No, when we have them ready, yes, which will be before the July.
I just hope it's not
meetings.
like the day before. You know?
No, it won't be, Councilman Reynolds. I mean, we have another update on the exterior renderings but we wanted some changes done to those. So we're just not ready to share those publicly because as everybody knows, once you put something out there, that's what everybody expects to see. And we're not ready to do that yet.
You're talking about the eastern elevation of the Civics. Huh? Still haven't seen that. Well, what about the northern elevation and the western elevation?
We've seen those.
Anything else on the council? All right, thank you. Mr. Mayor?
So don't know if you heard the comments that were made yesterday and when I was talking to the media, but we met with the colonel, actually met with the colonel of the Corps for the last couple of weeks. They anticipate being through with that building really toward the end of the year, but it'll take them 3 months, so probably be the end of March before they actually move in. And so what we would like to see is a seamless move in so that they could use the parking deck. But at this point in time, what we're doing, not knowing what kind of storms we may have, what we know is that if we miss with the parking deck, there will be parking on the western side where they currently are using that's being currently used as a laydown yard for construction. So we will accommodate the Corps, when they're ready to move in, even if we stumble, on the parking deck. So just FYI.
All right. Anything else? We'll see each other at 10:30.
David, Sam.
If we don't waive the fees for the out-of-town contractors,
No, but everybody has to have a business license. It's not the permit fee, it's the business